Lance changes, right? All right, we saw a ton of Lance in last weekend's the 2v2. There was like double Roland. There was just so much Lance on the field. And now we saw how strong the bow can be because Koji just Power Rangers hands was phenomenal.
Yeah, so also looking back at the stats, I did actually overlook the fact that this is a character that is also commonly played by Use as well. Right. So I was looking at the Terrors because that just seemed like the best option out here to go up against like Bodvar, right? Like swing power for power, but having Lance as well, plus that spacing that you get with the boat, you have quite a bit of tools to keep Bodvar out, which everybody wants. You do not want to be fighting him up close.
Oh yeah. It is very interesting that Use is hanging around the mid-range game a lot more with this bow. That's where you see, I guess, a little bit of that player expression come out, right? It's like, are you looking to engage more with your side lights as opposed to a dash down light? This gives him the option for side light or normal down light. Don't dash it, and you still get like combo mix-up opportunities. It's a little tighter to play just because the hammer has decent range there too.
Yeah, and another thing that happens with this mid-range setup is that Vector's signatures are all big read attempts. Like they're all about catching that jump, so when you keep them in that safe, comfy spot where you're thinking your own, speaking of which, such a great anti-air, like that's such a great way to force him to think he could be comfortably approaching you, and so far it's actually working out pretty well.
Oh yeah, and just completely cycling the weapons. We got a Lance on deck as the edge guard is set up. Oh, went for the unarmed uppercut, but Kyna able to navigate around.
Yeah, now what do you do about this recovery here? It's having access to that, you have to respect Lance always off the side of the stage. You might just get caught by charge recovery, slipping at any given time. Speaking of...
Yeah, pulled out of that one real quick. Because once they choose that direction of the recovery, all right, neutral light from center stage with the knockout.
There's one thing that you have at least, no matter what, is the consistency of KOs, but also the damage. Because you got Sidelight Nair, it's going to be racking up damage pretty freely. And that mid-range pressure you had before might actually work very well for Use because he kind of established you stay right here. So now once the Lance actually comes out, it's a little bit easier to keep kind of uncomfortable.
Oh, yeah. Uh-oh, we've got the modified Mafia. You get that stomp into the jump, chase dodge with the recovery, low enough to bounce him off the ground, and then dealer's choice for the finisher.
So clean. Just being able to like catch him off guard too, and now these big nairs just coming through. It covers so much range when you're trying to make your way back. You have to worry about that, and after you dodge too many times, that charge recovery comes through. But Kyna staying on top of Use right now, making sure that he cannot get that setup he's looking for.
Yeah, that's the main thing. If they are airborne and you're stacked on top of them, they don't have a ton of great options because most of their attacks will move them first before like the actual threat of the attack begins. And that neutral air, you know, they're doing a barrel roll. They're not hitting near them. They're hitting everywhere around them. So if you can manage to stay stacked with the Lance and you've got some quick attacks like Kyna does, it's pretty good.
He's using the boost to get through right now and catching him deep off stage to get the KO as we speak. And this is looking very well. I'm incredibly impressed with the way that he's just consistently keeping Kyna in that really uncomfortable position of, if you engage, I get a free punish. So you have to work your way in. You have to prove to me your neutral is better. And even though we're deep in the red here on Use, it still looks like Use is pretty comfortable here in this position.
Yeah, hasn't really gotten flustered. You don't see any cracks forming in the gameplay. Still just confident movement.
Now, actually, I like that. Kyna coming out here, like, is getting really good spots on not getting punished by dodges, reading through. Where do you go with this? Tries to get the recovery, still no KO off the top.
Oh, looking to catch the landing, but Use the low damage side air. You get a lot of those grounded follow-ups. That's just enough. Downlight into recovery, but there's a slight damage lead for Use. And honestly, he's been winning most of the engagements this game.
Yeah, it's just been some simple gameplay too, like holding on to those signatures. Like we said, it's very committal. You're not really going to set up outside of big reads off of that. So the fact that you've just been getting free damage consistently, it's just been so good, mostly just from the spacing game. I like Kyna coming out here with the sword at the end. I think the sword needs to be all the way to deep in the red, potentially for that change up to hammer. But I think the sword's been putting in way more work.
Yeah, the sword's doing a lot of work. I do want to see that down signature. I know Sparky talks about it a lot, and I think that's the path to actually bring this one back, because Use has just been winning pretty much every engagement. You need something crazy. I mean, crazy as a down signature? Sure, why not? That's a bow. Split it into two swords, just as good.
You asked for
bow in the hand,
and you shall receive.
2 swords in your opponent. Something like that. I don't know. We'll workshop it, you know?
It's such a most interesting bow go off where I've ever heard.
It's a Yogi Bearism, you know? You see fork in the road, take it.
Yeah, you got a few boo-boos. That's right. So going into this next game here, Hughes looked incredible. It very, very solid play. Not like the damage diff, sure, but you have the KO power from Brawlhalla, so the damage doesn't necessarily mean much sometimes because the hammer's always going to find its recovery. But look at the damage from the bow. I think the bow was so incredible. You talk about it at the very beginning of that mid-range game. Establishing that is so important. But even beyond that, when Kyna did actually get in, just got backed off immediately. We're like, just without even having to switch to Lance to feel comfortable about it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So this was something that we saw time and again. Kyna, whenever they would go for the neutral light or even the side light on Sword, Hughes would just play footsies, just stay just out of range, pace with it, punish with the bow side light. And that's what you get to do when you play that mid-range. You actually get to invoke footsies against the opponent, like the actual player and their brain.
Yeah, and now racking our brains a little bit here too. The switch off the Brawlhalla going here into Apocalypse. How are you feeling about this counter pick potentially with this Scythe now on deck?
I love this. So this is actually, the Winter Championship this year. That's the first event that Moonin is legal. So we've got them on deck. Scythe, bow, some crazy signatures. And I'm not sure how much experience against Moonin Hughes would have had. Certainly not in a tournament area, but, in the ranked queue.
Yeah, and this is, like you said, matchup unfamiliarity matters a lot, especially in positions like this where all of a sudden you're facing against someone who's in potential category to take the whole thing. But
I understand what's happening here. Kyna said anything you can do, I can do better. We've got bow versus bow, and there was a lot of that same exact mid-range gameplay. Oh, I'm going to play footsies and then side light. Unfortunately, use the first one to gain the momentum and say, stop that.
Yeah, that's for me.
It's not funny. I don't like
that stock. That's for me. They such a great job going off stage, consistently getting these edge guards. I think. Oh wow. Okay, I like the attempt. It looked like we were going for a big dare play there, just kind of chase them all the way down. It's like they're chasing you all the way for it. But Kyna shutting it down very quick, not letting too much damage get on the board, and so far I'm actually really liking the switch up here.
Yeah, it's been working out a lot better. There's not a consistent damage lead for you. It seems like Kyna's able to handle the neutral game a lot better. Just less unanswered interactions, especially if we get some crazy offstage bow play.
This is incredibly good punish game from Kyna there. Just that overcommitment from Hughes led to a solid amount of damage that pretty much pushed him straight to yellow for free. It was uncontested every time. And I think this bow has put in so much work, like you're saying before, because even with the Lance, all right, never mind. Now you got to worry about the recovery once again, which he has had covered every time.
No more options. Done. You saw those sweat drops. As soon as you smacked them away, it's like, all right, you spent all your jumps, your dodge, recovery, nothing's there. See you later.
What was so good about that was the last game, the recovery low was the kill. Then the first stock, the KO, was also the low recovery again. High recovery that time. Hughes baited out entirely.
Oof. And now, once again, you were talking about this the last time that we were in a similar situation with Hughes, deep red, Kyna on last stock. There's no cracks in the movement. It's still confident. Hughes, I mean, especially now being up a game, I think that's just going to keep on continuing, and you can't let that kind of effect snowball.
Exactly. Yeah, you need one of those big plays now. And Kyna is definitely somebody who can pull that out. We talked about the consistency of how Kyna has been playing so well. We saw a lot of those comebacks and BCX as well. Very minimal amount of damage. Great job catching the Sig and sealing the deal. Now, can you get a big Scythe string? That's pretty much what's going to get you that fear into Use.
This is what I want to see. Big Scythe string. Like, if you're taking requests, Kyna, oh no. I mean, forget I said anything. But no, if you could give me some, like, crazy offstage Scythe string into a GC down Sig. I mean, right now you've been catching them with the signatures. It's been working. It's the standard gameplay that needs to be tweaked up a little.
Exactly. And so far, doing a great job of actually dodging the high punishes now. Oh, here we go.
Yo, damage.
Gets the stare. Just keep it up. Just keep that damage going. And kind of backing off in a position what looked like could be punishable for one of those GCD6 like you said before. Maybe we see that just living high ceiling coming through.
Oh my gosh. Sniped out. Thought you were falling far enough away, but the pickup was a Lance. It was a Lance. The side air, it's got a rocket engine on the back.
Where are our flying cars, man? Like it's 2022.
I know we were promised this, and it's just not yet.
Like Vector gets to do it.
He is a flying
turn
car.
He's essentially
That's
a flying
what jets
car.
are.
He's a jet. You got wheels underneath it. It's a land. That's exactly what it is. Where are ours? That's all I'm saying. So, we're gonna rant a little longer about that. Use getting game number 2. Just look at the accuracy count from from majority of the light attacks. Just so many that actually landed by comparison. So even though the SIGs were only 20%, it mattered when it hit.
If you run the math, kind of swung more. The accuracy, a little bit higher for use, but not too much. So that kind of evens out. Where is that damage gap coming from?
Yep.
It's the attacks that you're hitting, the weapons that you have. That lance is doing so much more damage per attack than the scythe.
And the bow duel has been in favor of use once again.
Yes.
Like you were talking about the switch up to the bow, say anything you could do, I could do better. It's like, no, you can't. No, you can't. What do you think you're doing?
Yes, I can.
What? No, you can't.
Yes, I can.
No, you can't.
Just play the track. Do we have the license for? I don't think so.
Yes, I can.
The only license you need is your
MCA.
pilot's license because Use is flying in through this set.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that the way that he's just kind of dominating through it, we could see Use take it over Kyna if Kyna can't clean it up here. And we're going to see Kyna pull out the Koji here, which was actually being played earlier today.
Gosh.
And it's working so far.
Woo! Thank goodness you actually dodged up through that second ground pound because you already took a ton of punishment. That probably would have spelled disaster.
Exactly. And this is exactly what we saw from Kyna against Hazard. It was a 3-0 with the Koji as well. So, that was incredible play. I believe that was actually a ditto that happened between the two of them for the first few games as well. So
wait a minute. So Kyna just kind of does this all the time? Anything you can do, I can do better? If you're not matching the weapon, you're matching the character?
Yeah, this time, though, decided to go with the smart decision of getting a sword as the secondary weapon. It just, if you want a tool to hard punish Lance for overcommitting, it's going to be the sword.
Yeah. That's going to be a key difference here. Right now, Kyna with a full stock lead and all the momentum behind, but going to be needing a reverse 3-0 here. Needs to win 3 games to win this set, whereas Use just needs the one.
Yep, all you need is that one good game to seal the deal, get the 3-0 in the handshake, and move forward in winner's side. But at the seasonal championships, this is where we see people pull out all the stops. You're not going to get this 3-0 for free. Kyna is going to do everything in their power to possibly bring it. I would love to see it. I want to see a game 5 because every single one we've had so far has been a nail biter.
Yeah, and you know what? He's been trimming those nails, a bunch of neutral airs. Uh-oh. Man, I'm just expecting every time that they go into the neutral, reflections of game 1 when it was the Bodvar sword, and I think the adaptation has happened. We're kind of recognized, hey, you're playing that mid-range footsie game and your bow is just winning out every single time. All right, I need to change up the tempo and the pacing.
Yeah, and I like it too because in that Bodvar game, the hammer got invalidated pretty hard. So you only had that one option, which was easy to figure out because you were only going for sword. Now with the ability to actually counterplay a bit, great dodge there off the side. Good defense from Kyna to avoid the ground pound. And actually starting to get some damage on, just barely missed that chase dodge too.
Yeah, I don't know what was different about the Vector bow versus the Koji bow because it's all the same light attacks, but it seems like Kyna is just so much more comfortable. It's been, oh my god, actually bet it all on the side air there. Could have just faded over and touched the wall, but no, was like, I bet I can hit you right now and get the chase dodge.
Oh my god, what an answer right there. You try to pressure me, what if I just GC Sig in your face and just back you off? And that's such a big play, but you are still down a whole stock. And you talk about the Koji thing. I think Koji's one of those characters that just exists with plot armor. So it just kind of makes the bow work by just nature of being Koji.
It's like nothing's different, all things being equal. You're not really using the signatures differently, whatever. It's all these light attack engagements. For some reason, Koji's bow just seems better.
Yeah, and also just the gear too, the outfit. Don't at me, that's the best one free. But like anybody disagrees, it's just wrong. Don't. It's not a good look to lie to people. But now, Kyna coming through with the Koji.
Average damage per engagement 50 versus 80. That's a blowout. That's a blowout.
Oh my god. So we were talking about the bows before. 457. I'm telling you, Koji has plot armor. He went through another character with bow. It was 147 max. And here in game number 3, Koji all of a sudden has red dot scope, has access to heat-seeking bows. I don't know, but
All
now
right.
we're going to Miami Dome.
So message received. The bow has been claimed by Kyna. He's like, you know what? Sure, I'll let it go. You can have it this set. I'm on to the Ulgrim. Axe, baby.
Oh, here we go. Big damage. And we talked about it before. I think it was when we saw Azoth on screen. Platforms plus Axe equals lots of coverage on landing. So this is, I like this switch up here to the Ulgrim while we go over to Miami Dome. And a little bit easier to track him on the side of the stage, too, because you only have that straight up and down setup. It's going to be easier to find those ground pounds.
Oh, yeah. And those ground pounds, you know, if you were talking about air control for the Axe, that thing's a full circle, 360.
And you see it's going for it right there. Just no point not to. Those neutralites are just such a good tool to back off Koji when he decides to put himself a little bit too close.
Jeez, I'm looking for when is the swap to Lance happening, because there's that extra weapon there. He had the opportunity. I think Hughes is committing to Axe in the bow matchup. I think as a bowmaster himself, he probably says, my bow tends to have a lot of trouble against Axe, so I feel like that's the answer.
Yeah, and there was he was having a bit of a struggle with that last game too, where Koji just outplayed the Lance. Oh my god, what a punish. What a punish. Catching him on the cross up there with the D-Sig and just sealing the deal.
Oh, just a quick little soccer kickoff stage.
This is incredible. What is it out of Kyna so far that you've seen that have been the adjustments to get Kyna to this point here in this set against Hughes?
It's really been the gas pedal moments.
Yep.
It's that average damage per engagement. Once you get something started, Kyna was going 3, 4, 5 hits unanswered every single time. Had the dodge reads on lock and the movement read. It's just a lot of practice hours.
Yeah, and that's just so crucial. Oh my god, going deep off stage looking for that stare. I like it, especially in that position, trying to get that stock and just letting know you can't recover for free. But back to 2-2. Decent amount of damage on, but Axe will get that damage very quick, or even this, the Lance just getting those quick side lights into nairs. I think Yu still looks very comfortable even with the deficit he's looking at.
Yeah, so, you know, I've been trying to reason and think this out, because I'm like, you know, does he actually feel that, like, Axe beats bow here, or is it more so that he needed something else entirely? He didn't want to play the mirror match of bow, and he's very convincingly not going over to the Lance. I think his Lance has trouble against bow, and he was looking for mostly anything else.
Yeah, I think you're right, too, because the Axe has done an incredible job of not just whiff punishing, but not really letting Kyna feel comfortable enough to go for a landing. Like, we see very few attempts at actually trying to catch him on the ground with the D-lights, but now Hughes is just going straight back to it. This is what has been working.
That's the plan. And this is what I love seeing in these sets. We've seen it in the previous ones today. We see it in here for sure, where you formulate that game plan and it's all about execution. Stick to it and make it work.
Yeah, so everybody's got a plan until they get hit in the face, because that finally takes them with the recovery there. Kyna does manage to take it. However, you're pretty much in neutral light range at the ledge, so you're like, you have to be so careful. If you're Kyna,
oh my gosh,
for it all, trying to catch him off stage. The recovery does come through, keeping that pressure on here.
We almost had a legit bow stock right there. That's the, oh, you got hit at white and one of them happened to be a stuff recovery? Well, goodbye.
Yep, it's, oh my goodness, the movement from Kyna too, just fading back in, trying to go for the big recovery read, pushing him deep off stage, trying to back him off. You can see Hughes is scrambling now. Hughes is swinging for everything just to get backed off. He was forced finally off the Axe.
Yeah, this is where we see, you know, back when Hughes was in red stock situations before. Beautiful. I know you're dusting off your hands right there as we're moving on into game number 5. The set count's going to be 2-2. But where we saw before in those red stock situations where Hughes still seemed very confident, he didn't seem shaken, that was the panic setting in.
Yeah.
We saw the panic setting in right there.
Pretty much we could count him out, as in even that replay, we saw it twice. There was about 3 to 4 straight swings immediately at a disadvantage from Hughes.
0 damage with the sword. We're all in on bow.
Just and it actually was pretty much just an all in from both sides too, because that Lance came out and it was kicked out immediately.
It was like, all right, you're playing bow. I don't like Lance versus bow. I don't want to play the bow mirror. So bow versus axe. That's that hardcore monotype.
Yeah, what that does for your mental too, it just kind of messes you. But we're seeing a counter pick coming in here at the end for game number 5. How are you feeling about the switch up here on Demons?
Demon Island with a Jae-Yun? I mean, listen, like 2 years ago, this was the beat. This was the thing. It was, hey, you've got a ton of runway, and you've got some pretty good dunking signatures with like the side signature off stage on that great sword.
It is the greatest of swords.
The down signature on the sword. Like, you got crazy high-end potential. It has a crazy mechanical executional requirement behind it just because Greatsword plays completely different from any other weapon in the game. You can chain attacks, you know, pretty much 3 in a row until you get your big finisher. Uh-oh, big finisher for Kyna, scoring the first knockout. Didn't seem to actually care about the Greatsword. I was talking about it, and he's like, skip it. Skip the lecture.
Exactly. Let's just go ahead and put that away because the majority of what you see Yu's looking for is big whiff punishes. And we talk about the strings that you can just get together. And it, oh,
Let's go.
That's a great way to get yourself back in the game. Going for the deep, high, like just getting get the KO off the top where you basically haven't gotten one of those throughout this set. Incredible message.
Yeah, all right, so this is where we're going to start seeing the ground game employed. Yuz was able to hit some of those openers, and you can interrupt your attack chain with movement, your dodge, your jump, your dash. And that's where you're looking to get, you know, 1-2, reset, 1-2. And how much damage can you get per engagement? You can push it insanely high, but you need to get those dodge reads.
Yeah, you can see like it looks like Yu's just kind of looking for those dodge reads to get the dare on top, just like waiting for Kyna to make one mistake to get that damage. And now at least you have sword, you have access to be able to put him deep off stage, but the weapon toss into the ground pound was actually really smart right there. No whiff punish on the D-Sig. That was a crucial moment for Yuz to potentially get something there, just out of space though.
Ooh, trying to set up the corner guard, but gets knocked up into the sky for his trouble. Trying to land, that's different. That's very difficult against Bo.
Yeah, and pretty much throughout the whole set too, most of the damage that has come in favor of Kyna has been from those landing attempts, while Bo has been in hand too. Oh, big Sarah, pretty even damage here. Oh, just misses.
Oh my gosh, that was rock, paper, scissors right there. That was like a game of slaps, you know? It was just like, all right, I spent my dodge, and I'm about to gravity cancel. When do you spend yours? Oh.
Look, we already know if it's JU, it's going to be rock every time. Like,
oh, yeah. Yeah.
We're swinging every single time in that spot right there and kind of seeing through it. Very, very small lead that could disappear at any given moment here for Yuz. He has to get, you need every single bit of trade damage you can here to potentially get this game.
Oh, man. Absolutely denied. Kind of going up into the air, saying, hey, you want to jump around and just kind of rainbow from corner of the stage to corner of the stage? I'm going to catch you right at that middle arc.
Exactly. Here's the moment in time. It is game 5. Both of them on last stock. Sword in hand, Bo in the other side. Yuz does have stage position right now. Kyna getting a nice empty jump right through. Gets a quick string, though, and getting the damage on.
Yuz looking for a way to land. Manages to tag for a little bit of damage. He keeps pushing this damage lead. Weapon on stage. I don't think anybody's going to swap.
Whoa! Oh, absolutely not. Look, yeah, you're going to stay
back
with
to the
sword
for the edge guard.
Absolutely, there's no reason not to. You want to make sure you have that quick damage. Now you're pretty much in D-Light. Sarah raids the recovery, not off the top either, looking for the nair, and Kyna gets back down.
All right, Sabers at dawn. It's 2-2. Somebody's walking out of this set, and the other, oh no.
Oh, no, that could be happy. And the D-Light recovery coming in, and it's going to be Yuz getting the upset here, putting Kyna into losers, preventing the reverse 3-0 here with the final switch up to the J-Yoon at the end, messing up potential predictions for some people, and also just in general, what a credible edge. That moment, that first stock, pretty much is what allowed Yuz to get back in. If you don't find that KO off the top, probably taking this L.
That's the crazy thing, you know, was able to chase up there in a high, tall ceiling stage.